So beautiful to be together with all of you. We had yesterday a young woman who was sitting right about there. She is, yes, who I promised that we would start today with her question. We ran out of time yesterday, so I promised we'd start with it. Ye maika lagaya bia. So has just got the microphone over there. Yeah.
So my question is, as a
I don't think, is the mic on? Great.
So my question is, as someone just starting my journey as an entrepreneur, and I'm very inclined to spirituality as well. How do you balance both the energies? Because spirituality, it requires you to surrender. It requires you to be very calm and treat everyone equally. But in entrepreneurship, you cannot treat everyone equally. You have to be competitive and you have to be visionary.
Okay. Great. Spirituality and entrepreneurship. They actually do go together a lot more than you might think that they would. In order to be an entrepreneur, you said you have to be a visionary. Well, where do you think the vision comes from? Spirituality and creativity are not nearly as separate as they may seem. The energy of creation is ultimately a spiritual energy. When we are spiritually cut off, what you'll find is that that creative energy doesn't flow so well. It's why, interestingly, doing spiritual practices actually starts our creative energy in a really beautiful way. It's why, for example, companies like Apple or Google or Hewlett-Packard or these very, very techie companies. I mean, nobody would say, oh, that's a spiritual company. You know, they're techie companies. It's all about technology and entrepreneurship and the science. And yet, not only do they have meditation rooms in their buildings and offices, but they actually have a certain amount, and I forget how much it is based on each corporation, but all of them have a certain number of minutes per day in which the employees, on the clock, are able to go sit in the meditation room. They will pay you to sit and meditate. It's not like, oh yeah, come in early or stay late or do it instead of take lunch. There's a certain amount of time that each of these companies actually has written into their job description and, you know, employee contracts and all of that, of how much time you're permitted every day for your work to be quite literally sitting in the meditation room. Now, why would these techie companies be literally paying people to meditate? Because it actually increases your creativity. And what we need in the world is not more people just doing exactly the same thing. But what we need is people who are deeply creative. So first, that's the first important piece, is the two of them actually go together. So don't feel like they're separate. But then you said something very interesting. You said spirituality tells us that we are all one family. But in entrepreneurship, you can't think like that. Well, of course you can, and of course you should. What is entrepreneurship? On just a very basic level of definition, it's basically I'm starting something that hasn't been done before. Creating something, inventing something. The difference between being an employee versus being an entrepreneur is, as an employee, I'm doing what you tell me, the same thing that's been done by everybody else who's filled my job over the years. As an entrepreneur, I'm doing something new, inventing something, starting something up. Wonderful. But where are you going? Because life isn't just about starting, life is about going. I cannot tell you how many startup summits or conferences or conclaves I've spoken at. And one of the questions that I always ask is, it's great that you're all here because you start things up. But where are you going? Like, once you start it, then what? Because ultimately the point of life is to help people go somewhere. Toward peace, toward love, toward sustainability, toward wellness, toward togetherness. Lots of people want to start things up. Very few people have the vision of then what? Start up in their mind. Great. Expand so that what I start up becomes bigger and bigger. And then step 3 is lots of money in my pocket. Somebody buys my company. But that's not the point of starting something up. The point of starting something up is, where is it taking us? If you're going to go on any journey, and all you do is floor the car for the first, 100 yards, what's the point? You damage your car. You haven't gotten anywhere. The point of having a car that can go fast is it gets you somewhere quicker. You got to have the destination. Where do I want to go? Only then does starting up mean anything. So as an entrepreneur, what you've got to ask yourself is not just what do I want to create or invent, but where do I want to take people? Okay, assume that your creation is a fantastic success. Where does that mean that we are as a society, as a nation, as a humanity, as a planet? Like, what does your invention do for the planet? Because those are the only startups that matter. And the creative vision to start those up is absolutely that we are all one family and that we are all one. If you're starting something up from a vision of, I'm going to beat you out of the starting blocks, or my invention is going to, kick you away, or, I'm going to succeed and then you'll be nothing, forget about it. Go on a meditation retreat instead. Really? Because it's not what we need. It's not what you need. It's not what the planet needs. And I'm not saying that you can't do great business and that everybody has to, run an NGO or, do something like that. Of course not. Do business. But there's so much that we need that's actually helpful and beneficial. There's so much waste. Create something that helps us live sustainably. There's so much misery. Create something that actually makes people happier, not just lulls them into numbness thinking they've got thousands of friends so everything's okay. Something that actually betters people's lives and the planet. You should never, ever And this is not only true for entrepreneurs, but it's true for even just being an employee anywhere in the world. Unless you have children at home who are quite literally on the brink of death by starvation, if you don't bring home food today, unless that is your circumstance, at which point do anything but bring home food. If you are in any other circumstance, you shouldn't be doing something to make a living that is in direct conflict with your deepest held spiritual beliefs, because it's not going to be worth it. And I'm not saying that you have to, call up the competitors and give them your ideas. Do business, do entrepreneurship, do it intelligently. But do it in alignment with your core spiritual beliefs. And only then are you actually going to feel satisfied. So walk your spiritual path. Use it to ground you, to anchor you, to make you feel calm, so that when somebody else's invention comes out first, you're not destroyed and depressed. If the company that you want to hire you doesn't hire you, you're not miserable. So let your spiritual practice ground you, anchor you, remind you who you are. Let it be a source of creativity, that you are working together with the planet. I mean, look at nature. There's nothing we can invent that is more beautiful than nature. The very best artists in the world, the very best artists, are those who are able to portray the natural world as close to the way that it actually looks. Why do we love Monet's water lilies? Why do we love the way that Rembrandt worked with light? Because it makes us feel like we are in the midst of the water lilies. It makes us feel like we are with that person. They're taking the world and conveying it that shows us the true beauty. The best art is literally just giving us back the glory of nature. So if you want to create, look at nature. It's all the divine creation, and anchor yourself with that creative energy. And then you'll be not only a beautiful asset to the planet and wonderfully successful, but you'll actually make that work your spiritual practice. Then it'll be spirituality in action. Yeah. Beautiful. Other questions? Yes, of course. Come.
Thank you. Hey, I'm a bit nervous, so excuse me for that.
No problem.
I want to share my experience in my last few years and to hear what you have to say
Sure.
about it. I'm curious. So I feel that in the last years, life to me has been a bit like meh.
A bit like?
Meh.
Meh. Okay.
MBH. Yeah. In the sense of like, I think I used to have much more spark in the past, or like I was more passionate about things, about life. And I feel that recently it has been dropped significantly. And I'm like, I don't know what excites me. I don't know what I want to do, regardless of money even. If you were to tell me like, okay, forget about money, go live your, I don't know, I don't want to do nothing, basically. I don't know. And yeah, I don't know like exactly how to leave this cycle and how to to revive myself, actually.
Great. Yeah, I think this happens to a lot of people. We go through phases in life where, yeah, it feels like meh. Like, Nothing excites me. We're not inspired. And one of the reasons for that is we end up on autopilot. This is why spiritually we're taught to be mindful, to be present, be here now, the power of now. Why there's all these really historically powerful, universally applicable teachings around literally the power of being present. Because it's not that this present moment is so exciting. It's not that my breath is so exciting. It's not that watching my mind go, fear, planning, and that's not exciting in the scheme of things. But what happens is I come out of autopilot into my conscious reality. And actually just being fully conscious is that which takes us out of that meh feeling. What most people do is they figure, I gotta go to the movies, or start up a relationship, or leave the relationship I'm in, start a different relationship, or get a different job, or somehow rely upon the outer world to excite me, to entice me, to make me feel vibrant again. But it doesn't work. Temporarily, sure. The mind loves change, loves newness. Anything new is going to feel exciting for a little while. But very quickly, it becomes standard. All of our senses respond to newness. I won't go into too much of the neurology, but it's actually really interesting. It's why if you eat something that's really yummy, you actually, on a purely sensory level, only really enjoy it for the first few bites. We keep eating it because it's there, but our taste buds stop responding. So you eat something really yummy. First bite, the taste buds, all the reward chemicals in our brain, we're loving it. Second bite, little bit less. Third bite, even less. By fourth or fifth bite, on a neurological sensory level, we are basically not tasting it at all anymore. It's how our bodies have been created evolutionarily. Same thing with eyes. It's why if you've ever done any of those fun, like optical illusion games, you stare at a point for long enough and everything disappears. Why? Because literally the neurons stop firing. You stare at the same thing for long enough, and the brain stops firing. You change, it'll start firing again. And so they've created those fun cards based on the neurological truth that you literally stop seeing something if you look at it continually. Now, this is the same thing on a deeper level. On this level of life excitement, newness is going to always excite us. All of our five senses are firing. But then we get bored also. Just takes a little while. The only way to live in a constant state of vibrance is to live in the present moment. Because the moment I go into autopilot, subconscious programming, like we check out, nothing will be interesting. You can sit in a movie, but you're checked out. The way to check back in is through the power of presence. So instead of trying to distract yourself from the feeling of madness, actually dive into it. As you walk, allow the focus to be quite literally. Can you feel every muscle in your body expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting? The heel of your foot, the ball of your foot. Can you feel the little toe? Do you feel the arm? Do you notice the breath? Just become super aware. As you do anything, you reach to pick up a glass. Be super aware. How does it feel? How do my fingers curl around the glass? Slightly cool, slightly heavy. Bicep muscle is engaged. And you just become super aware. And actually that vibrance in life comes back. And this is the secret that all of the yogis and the mystics and the sages of every tradition have known. And it's why even living in caves in the mountains, no entertainment, they were so much happier, excited by life, vibrant, than all of the people living surrounded by movies and TVs and all kinds of stimuli. Because it's actually the power of presence that keeps us vibrant. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
Namaste. My question is that what is the difference between
I'm so sorry, I cannot hear you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
My question is that what is the difference between the word...
Uनकी volume बढ़ा दो भैया. Yeah, if you can help him if it's the mic issue. Thanks.
That what is the difference between the word dharm and the word religion? Because when we talk about dharm...
The word religion and dharma.
And the dharm, yes.
Got it. Great. So, dharma, quite literally, means so many things. I'll give you a few. It can mean the right way. It can mean the core essence. So you would say, this is a dharmic choice, meaning it is a choice in alignment with the right way. You could say fire's dharma is to burn. Water's dharma is to be wet. It also relates to a duty we have in a specific role that we play. The dharma of a mother is to take care of her children. The dharma of a warrior is to protect the land. The Bhagavad Gita is 700 verses that Krishna gives around dharma that keeps referencing the dharma of a warrior, because Arjuna is a warrior. So dharma means a lot of things. But in general, it's around a way of living, a way of being that is in alignment with core essence. Your dharma is your essence. And the dharmic way of living, then, is in alignment with that essence. Religion, typically, is a very specific, typically non-negotiable way of understanding the universe, and therefore a set of do's and don'ts that one must abide by. And there's certainly places that dharma and religion overlap, but dharma is much more fluid. I think of dharma much more as alive and in the moment. For example, if I say to you, is it wrong or is it right? Is it bad or is it good to stab somebody with a knife? Say wrong. But if I say to you, well, the person doing the stabbing is a surgeon, and the person they're stabbing has just had a heart attack and needs open heart surgery. Well, suddenly it's good. Dharma has that capacity. It has the capacity to be in the moment. What does the moment require? And again, that's what the Bhagavad Gita is about. He's actually teaching us through Arjuna, yes, This may be the way that things are theoretically, and yet in this moment, in this situation, things are not like that, they are like this. Yes, violence is wrong. Harm is wrong. And we have done everything we can do to prevent the violence and the harm. And now, the only way to restore peace, to restore integrity, to restore equality to the people is through this act of violence. Dharma has the capacity, in a way that when I think of religion, I don't think of religion with that, to kind of flow with the flow of life and to be alive with what every moment offers and what each individual person, because religion is also much more of a cookie-cutter situation. These commandments apply to everyone, every circumstance, every person. Dharma says, but your dharma is this. But your dharma is that. But your dharma is this. That which is right for you is not necessarily right for you. So that's one way of understanding the differences. Also, Dharma does not demand on any level that we actually believe something. Dharma does not command us to worship a certain way, believe a certain way, have faith in a certain thing. Dharma is about us and our lives here on planet Earth. Religion much more is about thou shalt believe. And you must believe it in this way. And your belief must manifest in that way. So they can overlap in some ways, but I think of Dharma as much more expansive, open, fluid. And I think of religion traditionally as much more rigid, much more like dogma than like Dharma. Great. And yeah, yours.
How do we best help those who are not yet on any spiritual path and those who are in the endless loop of suffering, victimization, and so on?
Great. Raise your hand if you've ever tried to help bring someone onto a spiritual path who is not on the spiritual path. Raise your hand if you've ever tried to do that. Yeah, a lot of you. How successful was it? Yeah. And it's sad because wouldn't it be great if we could bring everybody onto the path? The dilemma is not only do we all have our own individual dharma, but we also all have our own individual karma and our karmic package and our karmic journey. And it's so hard because you want so much to help them end the suffering. You see them suffering, and you want so much to show them that there's a different way. The best thing that you can do is embody spirituality. Truth is a magnet. Happiness is a magnet. Love is a magnet. We are all looking for it. We are drawn to it automatically. It's what keeps us buying things. You're scrolling social media. Somebody who looks the way you want to look, who's smiling, who's happy, they're selling something. And there's an immediate click here, buy now. We click, we buy before we even think about it. Why? Because they've exuded something that we want. And it's not always something as superficial as good looks. Typically what it is happiness. Because really beautiful people who look miserable in pictures or videos are not selling anything very well. So it doesn't actually matter how beautiful they are. I mean, if you had an extraordinarily beautiful person going, oh, this is the best thing I've ever drank. Oh, this is really good. You really got to buy some of this. Oh, God, this is really good. Really good. Doesn't matter how beautiful I am. You're not going to buy it because it looks like I'm hating it. I have to not only be beautiful, but I have to say, wow, this is so great. God, this is making me so happy. You should buy it. Then you'll buy it. We are drawn to people who are happy. We are drawn to people who have that sense of their lives are just working for them. And we want some of it. And we are prepared to buy what they're drinking, what they're wearing, what they're selling, because somehow we just want that feeling. So be that. You don't have to sell anything. Just live that. Live that joy, live that peace, live that anchoring. Live that okayness. People automatically will say, I want some of that. How do you do that? What's your practice? What do you do? And they'll come. But they'll only come when they're ready. Because first they have to realize that what they're doing isn't working. And sometimes that's going to be soon, and sometimes it's not so soon. Everybody's got to walk their own karmic journey. There's a beautiful story of a man who walks out of his house one day and sees a cocoon on a branch outside his house, and the cocoon is waving back and forth, and suddenly he sees a little slit in the cocoon, and a butterfly's head pops through the slit. And he watches the butterfly for some time, and she seems to be trying to squeeze her way through this tiny little slit in the cocoon. And the man feels awful, and he's thinking, oh my God, this poor butterfly is going to suffocate and die. And he goes in the house, and he gets some little scissors. And he comes back, and very carefully, he cuts the cocoon to allow the butterfly to come out. And the moment the cocoon opens, the butterfly falls to the ground with this splat. And he's worried, and he picks up the butterfly, and he starts trying to, do this and get her to fly. But her wings are very wet and shriveled, and they're not expanding. And it turns out that the actual act of pushing herself through that narrow slit in the cocoon is actually what pushes quite literally, the material of a caterpillar. I mean, think of what a caterpillar looks like versus a butterfly. That it takes that and literally squishes and squeezes and pushes it out into the wings. So the wings expand and she can fly. And not having pushed herself through it, she was rendered unable to fly. So everybody has to walk their path. They have to walk their path of struggles. And only then are they going to be able to fly. So be the magnet. Show them what's possible. Guide them in any way that they're open to. But you can't cut that cocoon. Yeah. Beautiful. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evenings. A beautiful day for our family joining from all over the world. And so much love to you all, and I look so forward to seeing you tomorrow. And for those with questions we didn't have a chance to take, just bring them back tomorrow, and we'll start with those.